Jim's straddled. He's got the best of the best.
I know. We have the best of the bullshitters right here. we can talk a lot about nothing.
We already are. Well, he should have just hit record a long time ago, quite honestly.
What's this show called? What are we calling this?
Thank you for joining us for Fretboard TV.
Fretboard TV. That was bad.
All right, guys.
So, should we start with Jim?
Here, let's hold on. Let's.
Do you want a fresh beer?
I got this one. I got this one.
Should I get a fresh one?
Yeah.
Mine's pretty low. Done. All
right, I'll do the intro. We can do the intro a couple times.
What do we want to call the show? Fretboard TV. Hi, welcome to Fretboard TV. Thank you. I got my co-host right here. I've got Tiff McGriff and Cupcake, and I am Dr. Skinny.
Dr. Skinny. Where did Cupcake come from?
Oh, we don't have time for that in this kind of interview.
Are you sure about that?
We'll skip it.
I'm sure about that.
That's another show.
All right. Well,
that's another show. That's a much deeper question.
But let me give props to the man behind the scenes right back here. Is Mr. Mitchy Mitch. Can you say hi?
Hello, everybody. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank
coming.
you.
This is our first episode. Fantastic.
First one.
All right, first episode. What are we doing here? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, we're supposed to talk.
This is actually about you.
It's about me.
Why don't you introduce who you are, what you do here?
All right, my
Let's
name.
do that.
Well, my name is. So I like to call my friends like to call me Skinny.
Skinny.
And then I added this whole Dr. Skinny thing on because it sounded more important.
It's because he's very technical about certain things.
But yeah,
I actually like that though.
I think I think it's kind of cool. So.
It makes sense. If you know Skinny, it absolutely makes sense.
Sure.
So I have a question. When you're ordering food for pickup, do you put it under Dr. Skinny? That way when you actually go and pick it up, you say, Dr. Skinny's here.
No, I put it under Jim Klosterman. That's actually my real name.
Do you like to talk about yourself in third person?
I know. So, right. No, not usually.
Please don't. Nobody likes that, really.
No.
Nobody does.
Not usually. No, my name is Jim Klosterman. I'm one of the partner and co-founders of Fretboard Brewing Company. So, and I got Chris Ellison here to my left, your right.
Hi, guys.
And then Tiffany Jenkins, Tiff McGriff.
Tiff
to
McGriff.
my right, your left. Yeah. So, welcome to Fretboard TV, episode 1.
Episode 1.
Chris, what do you do? What you do a lot.
You're
a hustler.
Well, everyone
He
that works
hustles.
here wears several hats. That's part of the business, right?
Yeah.
I'm one of the sales managers here at Fretboard, and I've known these guys for quite some time through the music world. So, here at Fretboard, we're all about the music and about the beer. So it really makes sense, for musicians to be part of everything that's going on.
Tiff,
That's dope.
you caught her.
I'm excited about that.
You caught her mid-drink.
I know. I'm sorry.
She's trying to catch up.
I'm Tiff. I'm an assistant taproom manager here, so I bartend, inventory, make sure things are running perfectly-ish as much as I can, and I dance a lot because we've got a lot of good acts, and I can't help but dance.
So a little bit about the brewery. I mean, let's talk about that. So we're a music brewery. Okay. What does that mean? What does that mean to you, Chris?
Being a local brewery, we bring in a lot of local acts, but we're trying to grow, and we're getting to the point where we're bringing in regional and national acts, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And the more we do that, it gives more opportunity for a very eclectic type of atmosphere. You can catch a funk band one night, and you can catch a bluegrass band another night. I mean, it's great. I mean, I think that's one of the coolest things is how eclectic we've kept our stage in this place, and it just gets better and better as we grow. But it's still pretty cool to come in at 8:00 in the morning, and you've got the PA blasting some cool reggae band, and you hear you're smelling the dry hops and everything else going on. It's pretty nice to walk into your job at 8 a.m. feeling that. And,
no, there's nothing wrong with a little reggae at 8 in the morning. That's for sure. So.
No.
Let's go back, to even like before Fretboard opened, and you and these guys. I want to also you guys talk about how you met, but not only that, how this whole journey thing happened to opening the doors.
That's a great question. I mean, it goes way back to the musician days. I mean, come on. And Chris knows this too. I mean, because we spent time, Chris and I as well, years before the brewery ever opened, and we talked about opening a brewery while we were playing music together and how fun it would be to be around music all the time and drink beer. and I'm talking good beer,
the
like
dream.
It really is the dream.
I know. So craft beer was always a part of what we did as musicians, and or what we were doing as musicians back in the day during practice and on stage. So we go back to the days of when Sierra Nevada started getting popular. Sam Adams was a household brand name. And there were days, where when I turned 21, where I had many hangovers from drinking Red Dog or Miller Lite or any of the other.
Still.
And I mentioned Red Dog with, I guess, some type of fondness because I drank a lot of it, but it did give me hangovers. But yeah, we were looking and searching out not only for the creative side and the creative part that was inside us for doing original music, but also we were branching out with the type of beer we were drinking. We were looking for unique styles and things like that. Nothing crazy. I honestly still remember the time when IPAs came out, and I had my first IPA, which by that time Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, which is one of my favorite beers, was out, and we were drinking that regularly. And then the IPA thing came out, and I was like, well, they're just hopping the crap out of this for no reason. Like, I can't just drink up straight hops as I'm drinking an IPA right now. But yeah, I just think it was in the beginning, IPAs were very unbalanced. So later on, obviously revisiting the IPA thing, one of my favorite beers now. So
Yeah.
and,
I remember bringing you guys Hop Slam when we were doing some of those
Oh,
rehearsals for the first time.
yeah.
Joe was like, "What's this?" I was like, "Oh boy."
Joe, who's another partner here and co-founder. So,
Yeah.
No, Hop Slam, and that's the thing. I mean, back in the day, it was all about searching out for craft beer while we were playing music, because we were playing music 5 days a week, if not 6. I mean, it was like every day. I mean, I had a normal job, and we went to our jobs during the day. We were all IT guys, so we were all dorks.
You're a nerd.
Yeah, I was a nerd.
You're a
And-
nerd.
And so we were going to our job and every day coming home and playing music at night, practicing and drinking craft beer. It was great.
Were you just doing covers, or do you have your own?
We have our own.
original- You have your own original music.
Yeah, we have our own.
Yeah, absolutely, they did.
Is this the Three Guys and a Goat?
No,
What was the
three
name?
guys and a goat is Mitch. Quit laughing. Three Guys and a Goat is a later formation of things that we've done in the past couple of years
Okay.
with Andy McLeese at
Yeah,
Brink.
a little
And then,
collaboration.
yeah,
Oh
a
yeah,
little
What was
collaboration.
your band name?
Jim's going much further.
Oh, I'm
back.
going way
He's
back.
going-
No,
he's
I'm
going-
like
What's the name?
only
Further back than you
only
are.
everything. Only
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 everything.
everything. So you
that
can.
sounds emo as.
It was not emo, but
It sounded like
yeah.
like not even like pump, like a punk rock pop.
It was definitely
Like you
it was
sing
definitely not
only
emo
everything.
for sure. It was more like
Something corporate.
it was more like pop rock meets Hootie and the Blowfish meets something else with 90s, late 90s. But we became
It was
more.
just good music. It was good
yeah.
music. People enjoyed it. They had a nice,
Hey Mitch,
nice,
can you
real
actually
nice
like
following.
play their song mixed into this interview?
Yeah,
sure
do you
Jim
want
has
to
recordings.
wait? You could play.
What's some backtracks on
You
this?
can play the video, like ooh. So we had a song called "Change," which is interesting because that really the song stands the test of time and really is relevant now. And so a few weeks ago, my bass player, a good friend of mine, said, "Hey, can you put this on YouTube?" So it's now available on YouTube. So if you look it up.
Go to YouTube. This is my voice. Go to YouTube.
And look up Only Everything, and the video is called Change.
How long ago was it?
1998 is when we recorded it.
And the video,
I told you.
am I showing my age? We just
Not at
stop
all.
it.
Not
We
one
just
bit.
Stop
Not
it.
one-
Oh.
Yeah.
So the one thing we haven't talked about is what instrument do you play?
I am a guitar player by trade. Great question. Yes, thank you.
You gotta tell people need
Yeah,
to know this.
no.
Jim's a fantastic guitar player. He's
Thanks,
a great
Chris.
guitar player. He's very knowledgeable with sound and sound engineering as well. But yeah, Jim's the guy that makes it easy for when you walk into rehearsal 10 minutes late. Everybody's ready to go. Everything looks great. You just plug in and play, and you record your whole day. And it's just, I mean, he's awesome.
That's when
He's Dr. Skinny.
that's when I got my stuff together, Chris.
Yeah.
I remember
Only
you
when I
being-
have my stuff together, because I usually don't have my stuff
I
together.
remember you being on stage, and what's it? There's like a voice box, What's that when you like put the thing and you like?
Yeah, the
No.
talk box.
A
Talk box, yeah.
Is that a talk box when you like play, but you play your voice?
Yeah, the
That thing. And it sounds really cool.
the Peter Frampton thing.
Yeah.
Who's also from Cincinnati, or lived in Cincinnati. Maybe he's from here, I don't know.
That, exactly. That,
That thing.
it was that
So,
to a T. I loved it. That was really cool.
As-
You actually did that when we did.
I don't remember you.
We did
Battle
the, no,
of the-
we did,
Battle of the
we did
Brew
battle.
Bands.
You weren't here. We did the Battle of the Brew Bands.
Yes, we had our
Oh, yeah.
house
You were-
band.
You were on your jet ski in Florida.
Probably.
That never happens.
No.
No.
I wanna be
It never,
Florida.
it never happens.
I'm curious actually about the day that you, the original 3 owners here, sat down and decided to quit your jobs and open up a brewery, and what that day of you emailing or calling or talking to your boss, unless you were the boss, but how scared you were, what the feelings you kind of felt to be like,
Yeah,
I'm doing this.
No, I think it had to go through a process of convincing our significant others. So first,
That's smart.
I mean, so
I didn't
when
even think about that part.
yeah, so when you talk to your wife and you're like, "Hey, I'm going to quit my job and start a brewery," they're like, "What?"
Huh? No.
So
Well, there was a big time gap in that from the conversations we used
Yeah.
to have playing music about, hey, how great would it be to quit our jobs, play music, and brew beer all the time?
Yeah.
You know, like that was 15 plus years ago, and it was just 5 years ago where I sat down and had lunch with you guys. So there was a 15-year gap where you made this happen. It's like persist and you shall succeed. You never gave up on this dream and this idea, and that's one of the things that I just admire about all of you owners. But yeah, that's a great question. Like, how did you? What was the catalyst? What really made you guys just follow through and persist with that idea and that dream? Because most people don't do that. You do realize that.
no, I know. No, I think if it was easy, everyone would start a business for sure. That's what the saying is, and there's a reason why you don't start a business because there's so many hurdles,
Right.
especially the size. And that was well, at least Joe and I, Sierra, my other partner here, so who's not on camera, but we were in the band together. We were in Only Everything together. So we were always go big or go home.
People
right?
don't like to think this, but being in a band is very much a business.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of effort and organization and planning. to
Justin
make that
Timberlake knows what he's doing.
happen. Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
It-
I
he
got
does.
a lot of respect for guys, pop, rock,
Right.
whoever who are doing it full time. It is a business. So, and but yeah, I mean, so long story short is we were still working in the IT field and sick of doing what we were doing because there's no soul in information technology. I'm just saying, just no. And when you've done it for 20 years, yes, it's a good living, but we were looking for something else. There were a lot of other breweries that were coming out of the woodwork. I don't want to put it that way, but it was becoming a popular thing in Cincinnati to have a brewery, right? But there weren't that many.
Right.
But the people that have been around a while did not have a tap room until they passed a law about 7 years ago or so now, where it was the barrier to entry to get into business was a lot lower. So it was $1,000 and to get a licensed tap room, and then of course you had to pay for the brewery and the business and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But it allowed breweries to crop up in Ohio at a cheaper rate. So even if you were smaller, you could start essentially not a micro, but like a nano brewery for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And so once places like Rheingeist and Mad Tree started to become popular, we took notice and we said, this is, again, go back to your conversations we had years ago, this is what we wanted to do. I don't know if today I'd want to start a brewery, and I don't know if that's here or there, but now, back then, I mean, we've been in business, which will go on for 3 years in November, but it took another year to get started. So we're
Yeah.
talking 4, and then it took 3 years prior to that. So we've been doing this for 6 to 7 years now.
Yeah.
Just to get a brewery. And that's let's give credit to where credit is due. We had a great experiences as musicians out in the general public and watching how bars should be run correctly. But more importantly, you obviously remember you were probably in 6th grade, but the cheers.
I'm not that.
But the Barrel House Brewing Company was downtown.
Barrel House was awesome.
Yeah, and OTR, and what a great place! It had the exact same thing we do, and so if we had to model ourselves after something that was ahead of its time, it was the Barrel House Brewing Company.
Oh yeah.
They had a stage. They had their own sound system like we do. We have a stage sound system. They had good food. They had good beer. The beer was great. The beer, they had a strawberry blonde ale. We now have Reba. They had a strawberry blonde. It was, that's that. I mean, again, we're not. All good ideas are built on somebody else, right? And we saw it work
Absolutely.
and then talk about the explosion of breweries 6-7 years ago within Ohio. Barrel House existed 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was before
Miss that place.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It was a great brew pub.
It's a great place to go play music.
Yeah.
All the majority of the names of the beer are based off of musicians or music.
Yeah.
Has that influenced everything that you've listened to and the other partners, has that influenced all these names, or how does this come about?
Yeah, and in the beginning, for whatever reason, I think Brad Plank, who is our other partner and co-founder of the business, decided that fish names were probably the best names to use, and we agreed to that. So I think a majority of the beer names are named after fish somehow. But over time, we have all, including our employees and everyone that works here,
Absolutely.
have all had some type of say in the names of beer. Naming a beer is tough nowadays, something unique, right? Not only are you looking at, legal aspects of it and trademarking it, because you never know when a beer is actually going to become popular. Because you could brew a beer and you think, oh, this is just some one-off. Like Vlad, we knew Vlad would be a great beer. It's a Pilsner. It's easy drinking. We knew a lot of people would drink light beer. But, by the way, we won a World Beer Cup award for it. And now we got this beer called, which used to be called, exactly, Vlad the Impaler. But there's also other beers out there that are named very similar to that beer. And then you go, okay, great. I can't trademark it. You can't trademark names, proper names. Vlad, Vladimir. Those are names of a proper name. But it's really difficult to be unique nowadays. The good news is that if you are doing a one-off beer, then you can do kind of whatever you want. Yeah. Right. But if you're thinking this beer is going to be a mainstay, then we have to put a little bit more effort and creativity to it. We definitely connect all our beer names to music. Yeah. No matter what. I don't care if it's a lyric. I don't care if it's, the song title. It could be a name of a band. It could be a name of somebody in the band. It just has to have some connection so that when you ask me or somebody stranger asks me what the hell that's about, then we can tell them why we named it that.
Yeah. We're back. We're back live on Fretboard TV. Here we are with, again, Jim Klosterman, who is part owner, part everything. He literally does everything here. Sound, front of the house, back of the house stuff, logistics, just...
He used to help out with a little bit of the artwork, too.
Yeah.
He's a jack of all trades. This is Jim.
Thanks, Mitch.
Jim, skinny.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Jim of all trades.
Jim of all
Let's
trades.
just rebrand that to Jim of all trades. All right, so real quick, we've got some shots up here of beer, S23 and Vlad, which is great. All low ones because we're
going to call this
places.
Question and drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got to start firing
Fast.
questions because
Now,
it's like
now, real quick though, remember
Yeah.
team, this is all about Jim. You guys are going to get your opportunities.
No, I
I
get
can
that.
answer the same questions. So
Yeah. All right.
speed round, but Jim, you can elaborate a little bit. You don't have
Speed
to-
round.
yeah. So we're gonna call this speed round.
Speed
is that what
round.
we're gonna call this?
I'm into it.
Speed and drinking.
We got
Speed
beers
and
and
drinking,
shots.
drinking round. So Tiff is going to tell us when we have to do a shot. Otherwise, we just have to take a drink
It's gonna
after
be
each
every time.
question.
This is a bigger one. You can
Are
take
you
a
ready?
sip and then.
Just follow the leader. Sure.
Are you ready?
Low
So if you
ABV, thank you.
if you have a question, let's then you need to ask it as well. So are we ready?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Are we getting
I'm
ready?
ready. Three,
Two.
two,
Is this
One.
one. Shot first. Let's just do the shot.
Oh my God.
Let's start here.
We're
Okay.
we're just starting off there. All right, shoot it.
Oh, we get the whole thing's got to go, huh?
Beer shot. There we go.
I didn't make it.
I didn't
You
Favorite
didn't make
band.
it?
Favorite band.
Pink Floyd.
Favorite song.
Favorite song. Oh my gosh.
Number
really?
one song,
This
yeah.
is speed round? Oh my gosh. I don't know. How would I know? I don't know. Today?
Right now,
Today,
this
right now,
moment,
this
what are you
moment.
feeling? Your energy.
First thought.
Midnight Oil. The Aussie song from Down Under from back in the day. I've been playing it on
Will you sing a
guitar.
few bars?
It was the gosh,
Something
what is-
midnight.
You're looking at me like I know what you're talking
You
about.
gotta-
I honestly like you guys are the music
That was,
people.
I just played it the other day. I was just on oh my
In
gosh.
the midnight, oh, she wants more. It's not that song. I don't even know if that's what it is.
To cross my
All right, I'll think of it.
That's
I'll just
not
go
what
with
we're
like
talking
comfortably
about.
numb,
That's
whatever.
comfortably now. All right.
Mitch is beautiful. That was
Thanks.
awesome.
I actually
Thanks,
want some
Mitch.
information. What's your favorite guitar influence?
Favorite
Since you're a
guitar.
guitar player.
All right, so if I go with the Pink Floyd theme, it's David Gilmour. If I go without that, it's Steve Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix. There you go.
What about David Gilmour?
Are we drinking? Hold
Really?
on, I got a drink now. Drink.
I don't
I
understand
appreciate
the rules.
every-
I appreciate
The
Does it
other, could you ask me a question? We have to drink.
Fantastic. So why David Gilmour? What about David Gilmour's style guitar playing really just kind of really spoke to you as a guitar player and as a musician?
The dude is a master of the slow hand guitar, right? So the lead, the bending of notes, he makes the guitar sing. And the
Yeah.
guitar solo is memorable. You can sing it in your head.
Slow hand is a great handle for a trucker, by the way.
Yeah.
My name's Slowhand.
You old boys out there.
I'm doing the
This
Tiff
is
thing.
creepy.
Whatever.
Slow hand.
No boys out there.
I also don't know what slow hand is, but it's
All right,
just
so-
like intricate notes, but very like methodically and
Long melody
intricate. But
lines.
Yeah, so
what do you
he's
say? Like
not so Eddie Van Halen shred like
Fast finger.
yeah. But this
Okay.
guy's like I don't know. That's what it sounds like.
okay.
He can make a guitar note sing.
Oh. Hey, so
right.
also we're
Sure.
gonna take a shot after this. But
Okay.
if you could have 3 people on this stage at
My
Fretboard,
lord.
hold on, any band,
Okay.
Dead or alive?
All right.
not in one night. You don't have to make it like
Wait,
a progression
What's
of
the
bands.
3 people have to do with bands?
3 bands. Sorry. Ugh.
Okay.
Give me a moment. 3 bands on this stage,
Or people, whatever.
or people. It could be solo acts.
Okay.
Who would it be?
Yeah, so I mean, I've got to go with my favorites, the Pink Floyd.
Okay.
Right. It's pretty classic rock heavy. I got to go with the Who. Who are you? And then I'm gonna either go with a toss up between Fish or the Grateful Dead for jam band
Okay.
greatness.
We'll take a shot, but I want to talk about this. That
Shit, we gotta
I
shoot
feel
this
like
thing.
a lot of
There's no rules
I
here.
have no more shots left.
you do.
So we're gonna shoot
we'll
this.
just fill that up. Look, we got some more
All right, cheers.
again.
Here's a shot. Chris, are you okay?
I'm not sure what warranted the shot. Just because she said so?
Because she demanded it. You drank the whole one that time.
Or because he gave an answer. He's given an answer to everything. We should have like 10 of these things lined up.
I know, but we don't. We only have.
I gotta drive
we
home.
only have this cup of glass we have.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Don't do this at home,
Has
kids.
any of the music, and not even to say that, like I'm not being. Is that like an ageist thing to where like the music, everything that you've said is kind of a little, I'm not going to say even outdated. It's great music back in the days kind of
Sure.
dictated my shit. But have any of the newer music, what's striking anything with you, what's being released
Oh,
recently?
that's a great question. No, that's an awesome question, right? So what am I listening to today, right? So
That's not from.
it's interesting. Artists for a long time did not interest me, new artists. probably between 30 and 40. And now that I'm post 40,
Yeah.
I like Post Malone, you know what I mean? So, but I'm listening to things, and I'm listening to pop music. I'm listening to things today, and it's piquing my interest.
Yeah.
Maybe because back in the day when I played in a band, it was, you become very band oriented. I don't even know what that's called. Like
Like a
I don't even know.
sound?
Yeah.
But if you're in a
Very
band,
like
you know what that
certain,
means.
Specific.
yeah, very specific
Specific.
silo
Yeah.
of music. So nowadays, I'm a little bit more open to listening to anything, including pop music, rap, whatever it may be. So
Yeah.
I love when you'll hear a sample of a tune. Like a couple of years ago, there was this tune where they used this Sting loop, and it was this huge pop radio hit, and it was just like, that's fucking Fields of Gold. I mean, that's or a little piece of something, or you hear a little piece of a snippet of a Stevie Wonder thing.
Yeah.
And these kids today, they don't know who the fuck Stevie Wonder is. You
Huh?
know, like.
Why would
they don't.
Listen,
They
I
don't.
teach 40 students a week, and I've got kids that don't know who the fuck Stevie Wonder is, and it's my position to educate these kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my daughter's taking piano lessons and learning from great jazz players here locally or whatever, and I fully expect her to understand some of these jazz greats and where some of this new. I'm pounding on the table again, but this new.
Your passion. I like
Oh,
it.
all right. Well, we're gonna wrap up. Let's wrap up.
Should
All right,
be
hold
pounding
on.
on the table, right?
All right. We're gonna do one more shot.
Wait, hold on. Will you pour
No.
a shot for yourself?
We're,
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to you. Yeah.
Cheers,
Cheers to
team.
Fretboard
Come on
TV,
in.
episode 1.
Fretboard TV.
Thank you. Join us for a
Number
shot. Anyone under 21, do
I-
not join us for a shot. Thank you very much. So, I'm spilling. Let's go.
Down the hatch, fellas and lady.
Out.